I want to share a short story with you. Last week, I visited a beautiful house. I was told it was built many years ago, but who built it? I don't know, and it is not important here. This is an example of the passive voice. The passive voice is used when the focus is on the action, not on the person who performs it. It is performed when the object of an active sentence becomes the subject of the sentence. The passive voice allows us to focus on actions, results, and formal communication. With the passive voice, what matters is what happens, not who does it. The final result matters. And the passive voice is used in formal contexts, news, academic texts, or reports. The passive voice has a simple structure. We use the subject plus the verb to be in the correct tense, if it's past or future, present, plus past participle. For example, this sentence, English is taught in many schools. English is the subject, is the verb to be, taught is the verb teach in past participle. These are some examples. In present, many schools teach English. This is the active voice. In passive voice, English is taught in many schools. Many schools teach English, and English is taught in many schools. The chef cooks the food. Passive voice, the food is cooked by the chef. Now, you can see the structure changes, or the passive voice works in different tenses. As you can see, depending on the tense. For example, in the present, English is spoken in many countries. Is shows the present tense, and the word spoken is the past participle. Another example, in the past, a new law was approved last week. Was shows the past, and approved stays the same form. Approved it is a regular verb that doesn't change. Another example is the results have been published online. The results have been published online. Have is the present perfect tense, and the verb publish is the past participle of the verb. I will show you a real example taken from a news article. Investigators covered on New York's LaGuardia airport after pilots killed in plane collision with flight truck. This is a recent news on the internet from CNN News. Explaining this article talks about an accident at LaGuardia Airport In this text, we can find several examples of the passive voice. For example, was closed. The airport was closed. The tense in past, and the verb in past participle. Here, the pilot and co-pilot were killed, and both 5 officers were injured. And here in this paragraph, we can find air traffic control had cleared both to be on the runway, and more than 43 people were hospitalized, and many have since been released. More than 43 people were, where is it there? Is the verb to be in past, tense in past, and the verb in past participle, as it is the structure of this passive voice. Verb to be and the verb in past participle. In the passive voice, we always use the past participle form the verb. I have organized some of the verbs from our examples into a table to help you identify their forms. In English, verbs can be regular or irregular. Regular verbs follow a pattern. We usually add ed to form past and past participle. But irregular verbs are different because they change their form completely. That's why it is important to learn them by heart. For example, the verb in infinitive, build, in past simple is built, and in past participle is built too. Tell, in past simple is told, in past participle is told. The verb is irregular because it changed its form. Hear and speak, spoke, spoken, changes. Kill, this is an example of regular verb. Kill, killed, killed. It doesn't change in past simple and past participle with the same. And so with those other words, other verbs. Remember, irregular verbs change their forms, so we need to memorize them. Let's practice. Move into a short practice activity to apply what we have learned. In this table, we have different examples. In this exercise, you will transform sentences from active voice to passive voice and identify if they are active or passive. Look at the sentence and try to complete them. Let's see, the first exercise is in passive, and we had to transform it to active voice. How? What should we do? The first says, the cat was rescued by the firefighter. It is active or passive? Passive. Passive voice. So the firefighter rescued the cat. In passive voice, the cat was rescued by the fighter. Let's Write it here. The fighter rescued the cat in past simple. Can you see? The students held a study session. This sentence is in active voice. We have to transform it in passive voice. How? A session was in past plus the verb in past participle. The same, doesn't change because it's regular verb. Help. A session was held by students. The song is being sung by Alex. Is in past participle and we have to change in active voice. The song is being sung by Alex. So Alex is in present continuous is singing a song. The next is Jamie and Ava were driven home by their parents. Here is active voice. How would it be? The parents drove Jamie and Ava home. Because it's in past tense. Drove the verb in past. And here the verb to be in past and the verb in past participle. The wine blew off Priya's hat. The wine blew off Priya's hat. So Priya's hat was blown. In past participle, the verb is blown. Blown off by the wine. Good work, everyone. These are these exercises I prepared for you to practice this grammar topic. We have solved the exercise and now we can better understand how to use the passive voice. Remember to focus on the structure. Subject verb to be in the correct tense and past participle. Practice and read these examples. Keep practicing this topic. Thank you for your attention.